Okay. Well, it's 6 o'clock here in England. It's 7 o'clock for Corrado and Adrian and those of you in Central Europe. And some of you, it's going, yes, Spurson is fast asleep, but pretending to be awake because it's 1 o'clock for him. So welcome all of you to this special GAiN Europe get-together. We chose the title, you can see behind the leaders, we've all got the title there, Beyond Belief. And it is actually beyond belief what has happened to us in the last few months. It's beyond belief that we couldn't meet with you in April in Romania. We would have loved to be there, but we thought we really need to have this meeting. And one of the reasons is the other bit on the logo. If I just move off the screen, it says there that you are more than the sum of the parts. And so the 53 of you that I can see now, and that number is growing. Yeah, you are the sum of the parts of something that is marvelous here in GAiN. So Corrado, what are we going to do in the next 90 minutes? Are we just going to look at these beautiful people in front of us? What's happening?
This is a challenge because we are exchanging something really original to talk about GAiN, to talk about our passion for the mission and with technology, but closing the boxes. So we feel a little bit to say fixed somewhere, and what we are happy that we are together, but we would like to see each other better, but better than nothing. Let's say we will listen. We will.
Hey, good evening.
Okay, so we're just going to ask you all to mute your microphones so that we don't get your dogs barking or people walking across with cups of coffee. We're just glad to have you all here. Most of all, we're very glad for our devotional speaker this evening. Corrado, can you just introduce him, or maybe the one person here that doesn't know him?
Yes, I will. He's Pedro Torres.
Can you hear us now or not?
There is people that are talking.
Yes, no, because every people is in the waiting room. Oh, so they are not those that now step by step will join. They did not yet enter this room. Is that correct? I don't give okay. They cannot enter. They cannot listen.
What is happening?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sasha, if
this is the Corrado, this is the YouTube. This is the YouTube recording of the minutes before the meeting. Somebody has turned it on.
Yes, but okay. Now somebody close. Perfecto, and we can continue in peace. So can I continue? Yes. So Victor, you asked me what we are doing during this game. I don't want to present what we are doing because finally it has to be a surprise for everybody. So what we are doing now is to listen a message for a special guest. I would like to present our special guest is Pedro Torres. Pedro Torres is a communicator, is a blogger, is someone that loves with passion to communicate with the technology, but more of this is a friend of us. And we were in pain for you, Pedro, because we know that you will present what happened to you. So Pedro Torres from Paris will present us a message. Pedro, it's for you.
Okay, hello everyone. I hope that you are coping with this pandemic situation and that you didn't have very big problems of health. I am still with a thermometer because yesterday and today I'm still having a little bit of fever, but no worries, I will cope with it. No big problems. I'm very glad to see many faces of very good friends, people that I really have close in my heart, the most of you, because if there is someone that I don't know, I'm so sorry, but all you are included as well. Recently I was asked to register a little video for the Inter-America division for a devotional It took about 20 minutes, but Corrado said that I only have 7 minutes, so I will try to make it short. No big deal. The point is that I'm quite sure that your life has changed in the last 2 months and a half. If someone says that his life or her life hasn't changed, tell me, where do you live? Because this is not real. Or you are in the middle of the Sahara or somewhere where technology and people hasn't reached. That will be very difficult. This new pandemic, this COVID-19 has changed, and it's still changing the world as we know it. If someone is able to say that no, nothing has changed, I'm sorry, but I have to call you liar directly. The world has changed. First of all, the churches, they have stopped gathering and holding physical meetings. This is something that at the beginning we were a kind of, between quotation mark, a kind of thankful, because we are so tired of traveling and preaching, the most of us, because we hold a position, a responsibility on church, so we are preaching almost every single Sabbath. But after a couple of weeks, we started to miss people around us, and we have seen that the churches were in a struggle. They didn't know how to cope with this, what to do, how are we going to do things. But everybody discovered Zoom, a Jitsi meeting, and Skype, and many other ways of meeting again virtually. And that was interesting. This is something that made me think a lot. Of course, after that I could start to breathe normally again, but you know that I had a couple of 3 very interesting weeks where I really couldn't breathe. I was choking in my room, and the hospital were so full that since I wasn't an old person, they say just go at home and do it on your own. But thank God I am alive. This is a long story. As I said, there is a video running on internet about that. But going to our world, the communication world, because communications is not only video, audio, and social media, it's much more than that. Communication is preaching the gospel, is telling stories, is meeting people, is talking to people. All that is communication. That affected us as well as a group of communicators, because as you said, as Victor Halbert said, we were supposed to have the meeting, to hold the meeting in Romania in April, but we had to suspend the meeting at the beginning. And I say suspend at the beginning because it was something new. We didn't know what to do. It's like when things arrive and you don't know from where, and you don't know how to react. But now we have seen the humankind. Thank God, God has created us with such a capacity of adapting ourselves to new situations that suddenly we have seen not only the churches holding virtual meetings, but now we are having a GAiN virtually as well. And it's very cheap, of course, because you are at home, and when we will finish, you will just be at home with your family. That will be nice. But this capacity has to make us reflect, to think, to analyze what we call, what all the media is calling, a new reality, a new normal. But we will talk about that later. Before I fell sick, I had an agenda, a full agenda. I had every single weekend planned from March to September. There was no space for even a single needle in my agenda. And on Sabbath 14th, March 14th, I was sitting right now, right where I am, in this same chair. And in 5 minutes, I was turning blue. I couldn't breathe. And I was dying, literally, right here where I am sitting right now with these books behind. And I was gasping for air. I had to try to ran to the garden of the house, trying to see if I could breathe some fresh air. But anyway, making it short, what really concerned me afterwards, when I saw that I could go through, it was my ministry, my projects, my agenda, all the things that I had to do. And I underline the word my project, my agenda, my ministry. And what I have really realized after being 2 months and a half sick, and I'm still, as I said before, I still have some fever today, is that it's not anymore my ministry, it's not my church, it's not my project. They are not my projects. This is God's church, it's God's ministry. These are God's projects. We own nothing. We are not the owners. And sometimes God has to permit, to allow that our life is shaped to be awake, to wake up and to realize that something has to change. That I was in a inertia that wasn't conducting me towards the best direction. We have, 7 minutes have gone already, and I'm not even in the half. So we have discovered new ways of producing. Churches have discovered new ways of gathering people. Treasurers, they have discovered as well new ways of collecting the tithe and the offerings. I can tell you, because this is something very important for treasurers and for the church, because we need the money as well in order to continue our ministry. But for me, what I've discovered is that we adapt, we recreate new opportunities, and we take new tools that were already there. The point is that we only rearranged our agenda, our priorities, our way of doing things, and we kept going. It is true that now in the last 10 weeks, we have been only attending urgencies, emergencies. We didn't have yet time to sit down, to analyze, to reflect. Yes, of course, we have done some of it, but not thoroughly. I mean, not in depth. And this is something that I think that we will not be able to do until the end of fall, of the autumn. Why? Because now the many countries like France, in a few weeks probably Spain, Italy, Germany probably as well, the governments, they are starting to lift the restrictions. We are starting to go to the street again, to go to the supermarket. In France, the next Sabbath, all the churches will be allowed to hold religious meetings again with several restrictions. And this will change also the way of interacting, of doing things. But think about that. This is not going to be the old normal, the old standards. We are going to face a new normal, which is different. September 11th changed the world, the way that we travel by plane all over the world until now. And this pandemic situation has changed many things, but we do not know yet until which point and where the things will settle down. We, as communicators, we need to think that we do not know yet which is our new reality. I'm very glad that this has shown us new opportunities. I'm very thankful for the work that Andrea has done with all the teams and in many other colleagues all over the world. We have been able to produce the series of Dear Coronavirus and many other things. That shows that finally something has to happen to finally push forward all at the same time in one direction. It was hard before. Now we did it much more easily. But please do not take any decision anywhere at any level yet, because things changed. During the pandemic, we're different, but now they're going to change again, but will never be like before. And this is a new reality that we have to learn. we need to get acquainted with, and that will take several months and weeks. But don't be afraid, because the same God that allowed in my life to fall sick, the same God that has emptied my agenda, that has blocked all my projects, all my meetings, all my work, all my ministry, and I'm talking about myself, is the same God that is leading people to cope and to complete this puzzle that was messed up. You know, there's a situation in the Gospels that is quite a kind of similar to this. Jesus was ready to be sacrificed on the cross. And he knew that right after he will resurrect and he will depart. And he will no longer be physically with his disciples. So it was a kind of quarantine between the disciples and Jesus. Jesus was ready to depart. And then he prepared the path for that. And he said, you know, I am aware of this new reality. I'm no longer to be with you here upon earth. But, and you can read that in John chapter 14, verse 16, I will send you a comforter, someone who will help you in my place. Jesus invented the Zoom, spiritual Zoom, because the Holy Spirit is the only one that has the ability to be present everywhere at the same time. Do you see the comparison, the parallel? God is awesome. He already knew about that quarantine, this separation, physical separation between himself and his disciples and his church. And he is earnestly looking forward to have a feast, to eat the dinner with us, the day of the wedding of the Lamb. We are looking forward to that big reunion, the day that we will meet again physically with Jesus, like we are now waiting, expecting to embrace, to hug our beloved ones that live away, but we couldn't do it for all this pandemic. But no worries, because God has an worldwide Wi-Fi called Holy Spirit that is more than that, is very active. He is the one that should inspire us to keep working and to adapt ourselves in the better way, not only in our personal life, but also in our ministry as communicators. Be attentive, open your antennas, and receive the frequency of the Holy Spirit. He will guide us through this new reality that we are going to face in the next months. May God bless each one of you, each one of your ministries, of his ministries, lent to you and to us, because he is the one who is going to finish the work, no matter what, no matter how.
Pedro, thank you very much for that. And it's a joy to actually hear you talking now, because we've only been able to communicate via messages for the last couple of months. Let's bow our heads together. Let's say a prayer as we continue with our GAiN together. Loving Father, I want to thank you for these 71 participants on Zoom, the others that are watching on YouTube. I want to thank you for each one, for their passion, for communication, for ministry, for sharing your good news, for working together with our motto, Beyond, Beyond. We had no idea what was going to happen in 2020. We have no idea what's going to happen in the coming months, but we all have a passion and a belief in you. Thank you for Pedro and his ministry and what he shared with us. Thank you that there is a Holy Spirit that guides us. Thank you that you are our God, a God of love who sees us through all things. And in the next short time that we spend together, we ask for your blessing and your guidance in everything that we say and everything that we do, because we said in Jesus' name, amen. Well, a lot more people have joined us since we started, so we're glad to see all of you. You'll notice my background has just changed, because I want to spend a moment or two just to say to you, the world happened differently than we expected. We planned to be in Romania, and the leadership team, everybody else that you can see there with the Beyond logo, we met together as this virus started to impact Europe, and we said, can we do GAiN? And very quickly, the Romanian authorities told us, no, you can't. We're not even going to let you in the country. And we thought, well, what happens? What happens with the uncertainty project that we were planning to release at GAiN? And we thought, how can we release something about uncertainty when the only thing that people are talking about is coronavirus? Thankfully, we are starting to talk about a few other things now. But as a team, we met for 2.5 hours and thought, what can we do when the world has suddenly changed like this? And somehow, and I think it was the Holy Spirit's leading, we came up with the idea of, can we produce a spot? We'll call it Dear Coronavirus. I know that's made some people quite agitated because coronavirus is anything but dear, but that was part of the irony in the title to try and make people think. And so we produced one episode of Dear Coronavirus. It took a lot of time. Adrian is sitting there looking very modest. I don't know how many hours that first episode took, but it started off in China because according to what we know, that's where the virus started. We had 2 Chinese people in there. We had 40 nationalities in there, 32 languages, I think it was. And it was suddenly astonishing that what we discussed in a 2-hour meeting suddenly became viral around the world. And as of Friday, we released 11 Dear Coronavirus messages on all sorts of different subjects. One of my favorites was Dear Grandparents, but that's only because Corrado and I are grandparents, so we felt very special. And Elsa, I can see there as well. We produced one which Pedro featured quite prominently in, with people actually suffering from it. And a lot more on different subjects. Amazingly, the one we released on Friday, when we started making it on Monday, we were actually a little nervous as a team to release one on racism, because it's a very sensitive subject. It's very easy to get it wrong. And wow, what happened to the news headlines in the middle of the week? And now nobody's talking about anything else. And we were able to release something that was already in production, tackling racism and saying love, not hate. So we think that God has been behind this, and it could not have happened without you. Because although we as a team originated the idea, others then joined in. The Inter-American division got very excited. The North American division got very excited. South Africa, Indian Ocean, and others all started to participate. And we've had contributions from everywhere around the world. Nobody has refused, and which is incredible because you're all really busy people. And we would contact somebody on a Monday and say, we need you to get us something by Tuesday night. And you did it. And this is again where our kind of sub logo of the whole is more than the sum of its parts is really working with you. Corrado, just tell us very quickly, where is it impacting? How many countries have been getting involved? Need to switch your mic on.
Yeah, you are a journalist, Victor, and you know that the picture talks more than what the words. So, Sasha, could you send, please? Okay, he's coming. So you can see just let's say a picture, a photo of the situation. And I would like to invite all of you to watch very well this picture and to say, oh, it's missing my country. So if you are sure that the country that were contributing with the coronavirus, please just write on the chat. They say, this missing this country, and we would like to include your country because this was a network, worldwide network, and we were so excited. This was a marathon for us, Victor. This was a marathon. Adrian, Giulio, and Abel, and Carlos, and Thomas, and all the others. So, but this is what happened, and we would like to continue, of course. So I invite you to write down on the chat which country is missing, and also one thing more. If you would like to, we would like to know how are you using these Dear Coronavirus clips. If you can write some words on the chat, how you are using this Dear Coronavirus clip, and how many language you translate this video clip, and maybe some comments on this network initiative. Okay, thank you very much. And now I would like to invite Norel, that is a part of the team, to introduce his baby. It's very interesting. It's ST Sign of the Time Network. What is this, Norel? Norel Jacob is the chief editor of Sign of the Time in Romania. And yes, Norel, explain us your baby.
Aurelio, you need to turn on your micro.
Thank you for that. As you saw my smile, and I think my smile talked to you a lot about my pleasure to participate in this online game together with you and share some things that I think are of interest to all of us. Most specifically, I would like to emphasize 3 dreams we share. Number 1, we all dream about having relevant churches, don't we? Churches ready to serve the mainstream population and even the educated secular individuals out there. Number 2 dream, we all feel our resources are too limited, and we most probably share the dream of finding a treasure that will help us bring our vision to life. Number 3, we all dream of a moment when others that can help will grasp our vision and rally in helping us making it a reality. I think these are 3 of the most beautiful and also, meantime, most tormenting dreams we share. But we are all witnessing these days how our dreams are becoming a reality, and that is, we start networking. In a network, we reach out more effectively, the seculars. That's the first things we discover. We benefit of more relevant content. That's the second. And the third, we feel the support of other same-minded people from all over Europe, in our case, but even beyond it. Just look at the participants at this GAiN Online, and you'll know we have support in many other divisions. I'd like to introduce to you now ST Network website. And Alina, which is a senior editor at Signs of the Times Network, ST Network, will help me and show you the website for a little bit. Signs of the Times Network, ST Network, is one of those places where we all can bring our best relevant missionary content, and in the same time find so much more valuable resources created by all of us. We started to think of this idea 8 years ago, and we didn't know back then that COVID-19 pandemic will prove to be the last impulse to actually launch it. Now there are already 50 articles on COVID-19 published on ST Network in a month or so since the launch, probably 5 weeks, and slowly and hopefully with the contributions from all the countries represented in this meeting, we will start diversifying the content. So we will go beyond the COVID-19 topic, which was of course of interest now, but is slowly fading away. Alina is highlighting some of the articles in which we also included the touching Dear Coronavirus videos Victor presented you so passionately. Actually, we will include in time every single video from Dear Coronavirus series in relevant articles once they are published on ST Network. Please check also our Facebook and Instagram pages. And if you'd like what you see, give us a boost through your page likes, post likes, shares, comments, whatever your interaction might be. But notice now, please, the name of this website. It emphasizes network because this is the model the website is based on. All the missionary-minded contributors, all the editorial teams from different countries that have a burden for secular people can contribute, and most importantly, I would say, can benefit of this new website. Let me practically outline how this works in 3 points. First one, you can write relevant content for secular public and get it published on ST Network in English. So having a very large global audience. Second, you have the option of translating and freely using any content published on ST Network for supporting your own missionary activity in your own country. Please, if you are interested in this, write us and let's get in touch and talk about it. And the third one, the third part, is actually the best part, and I kept it for the end. We are working right now with our team of programmers on a solution to offer this entire website to all the countries that sign in to use it in their respective languages, administered and curated locally. So it will be entirely in your power to decide what to publish over there, starting with what we have published in English, adding new content locally, and translating some of that content into English for all of us in the network to be able to use it. Again, write us if you want to become part of this network. But for a moment, imagine 5 or 7 or 10 or 20 or maybe 30. I think we are representatives of at least 30 countries tonight. Imagine 30 websites in different languages working together in an increasingly relevant network for the mainstream population out there. I think we can contribute with the best we can offer each one of us, and we all can benefit of an incredibly more diverse and relevant collection of resources. So I would close my parts presenting this new website to you, saying that if you are a writer or an editor-in-chief, if you are representing Signs of the Times magazine in your country, or you happen to know the editor-in-chief of the Signs of the Times magazine in your country, or of another missionary magazine in your country, if you want to create a website for your magazine and you want more relevant content, international content for your website, relevant Adventist international content, we have all the reasons to work together. So please let us know if you want to explore together the ways we can network or the ways we can collaborate. That was all for about Signs of the Times Network. And now we will continue with another network project, which we are very passionate about it, the Uncertainty Project. And Klaus Popa, the director of Hope Channel in Germany, will host this part of the program. Klaus?
Thank you very much, Norel, and hi to everybody. It's great to see you being here and participating and joining from so many places around the globe. The GAiN Europe Cross Media Network Project is an initiative that we started actually 3 years ago, beginning with the GAiN Europe meeting in Newbold, at Newbold College, where we together as a group decided that we want to explore the working together, working as a network. And it was 3 years ago where we decided, it was on a Saturday evening actually, hey, what about doing a clip campaigns? Those of you that participated and attended remember that back then we called it This Is My Mission, a series of short clips. In the end, there were 20 plus clips from 10, 11 countries that participated. all of them showing in a creative way what our mission is. So that was the first step into working together. 2018 and 19 at GAiN Europe in Valencia, we moved one step further. A lot of us were excited about moving on with a new network project. And this was the project about fathers. What does it mean to be a father in today's societies? This time we expanded the scope of the project in many ways. Part of it was a documentary from several countries around the globe, different fathers and how they experience fatherhood. There was a book. So we moved from a documentary or from audio video material also into the area of writing, and we produced a book. Also came with it clips, social media clips, and also audio files, so that that could be used in a way as a podcast or could be broadcasted as audio material. So indeed, in Valencia, we moved from a clip campaign to a cross-media network project. And last year in Jordan, this network project expanded even further. The enthusiasm of even more countries, unions, divisions, media centers, media professionals from around the globe that were enthusiastic about doing something together. Because all of us recognize that if we work together, the potential of the results and of the impact is much higher than we can imagine. So together we decided for a topic which 1 year ago in Jordan, for some of us, even many of us, felt a bit uncomfortable, uncertainty. We felt like maybe it's a bit too negative. Maybe we should turn it into something positive, certainty. But is there not another topic there that we could actually decide for why uncertainty? But it proved to be a topic that now all of us globally would say fits the time that we live in perfectly. And this time the participation grew even further with special contributions from the North American division, documentary about students. We will hear a bit about it also in a few minutes, with a special contribution from the South American division, with a movie that was produced within this topic of uncertainty, special contribution from the Inter-American division, the group there that took care of the coordination of the clip campaign, social media clips around that topic. There's a global documentary about uncertainty, 10 people from around the globe that which will end up in 5 episodes of documentary episodes. That is yet another module. Also a special module on that, another movie, short movie on that topic, Encounters, plus also a book to come. So then this just grew and grew over the last months. And as Victor mentioned, in April, though a lot of the material was already done, we felt it's not the time to release it yet. But now the world is ready and the time is right and proper to introduce these materials and to release them. In the following minutes, we would just go module by module and introduce to you, to all of us for the first time, also each one of the modules by showing a short trailer. We will not look at everything. It would take us many hours to do that, just by showing the short trailers. And then after each trailer, then those that were responsible for the production will just take us in 2-3 minutes in sharing with us some of the main aspects of the production, so that all of us have, let's say, a full view of what is out there. Now, in the coming minutes, you are more than welcome, if you have ideas of how this network productions could look like in the future or what we could do together. please feel free to share that with us in the chat, so that ideas that are out there can be taken note of and be viewed, and they can be also considered if we can do them together. Unfortunately, we're not in one place as we have been in the past, so that we can discuss and wrestle and do that together as a group. But we have these constraints of the video. But we hope that by writing, we can hear all the voices that are there. Now, as the first trailer of the first module is the documentary series, 10 people from around the globe, 10 countries, 10 protagonists. Here's the trailer. Adrian will share it with us.
Y me pregunto, ¿cuándo podré caminar? Eso es lo que yo me pregunto. La incertidumbre que tengo es que mi familia ya no puede apoyarme.
Naja, wir würden gern Familie gründen und es klappt nicht. Und das ist im Moment eine Herausforderung, weil wir halt auch nicht wissen, ob es klappen wird oder nicht.
Na minha profissão, você não tem um futuro assim de olhar lá na frente e ver, né, as coisas acontecer. Então, na parte financeira é preocupante, porque tem dias que você pesca bem, pesca muito, mas tem dias também que você só pesca mal para comer.
Greatest wish is just, or prayers have just been for a little bit of stability, just for us to breathe a bit.
Eu saio para pescar, mas não tenho certeza de que eu vou pegar o que eu fui em busca.
The doctor told me that I had stage 4 cancer of the womb.
Recordar a mi gente, mi familia y mis amigos y saber que ya no están allá.
Ich habe einfach die Erwartung, dass Gott auch beim Kinderwunschthema das gut machen wird.
Sé que las pruebas que he tenido que pasar solamente lo he hecho porque después de tener temor, Dios me dice no temas.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Adrian, 10 countries. Could you please name the countries that we just have seen, at least the participants? Where do they come from?
Yeah, sure. I'm just taking a look here to the banners and promotional posters. So we have one story from Brazil, UK, Germany, Singapore, Lebanon, Peru, Colombia, Kyrgyzstan, South Africa, and Romania.
What is it, Adrian, now looking back to producing this documentary with the teams from these 10 countries? What are you passionate about, and working with these teams on such a project? What kept you going?
Well, first of all, that's so interesting to see that people are really creative. Even thought we had in this experiences some statements, some production standards, but something that I really love working with them is to see the creativity, the efforts, and just simple cases to say, well, just try to do something simple like we require for them, and they came with a fantastic material. Just to mention some examples of our friends from Southeast Asia, where they decided to go to Singapore and to produce the story there. The same with Brazil. You know, Brazil is a huge country, and they decided to go to the Amazon, which is impossible, Klaus. It's impossible if we want to produce by ourselves this kind of production. It will be impossible to do it only because of the network. So, and I could also mention all the stories, because to get a story like in Romania from someone who is in prison is not easy, or just to find some people who are really suffering with some illness is not easy. So these 10 stories will tell you, will show you, as we mentioned, as we showed in the trailer, these are real stories of people who actually are suffering, are having a very hard experience, and they are really open. And they were really open telling the stories. And just back to your question, it's fantastic to see the resources, the excellent human resources, the quality, the creativity we have in our network.
Thank you very much, Adrian, and thank you to all the teams that participated, but especially to those, as you already mentioned, those that were willing to share their story, and their story now will go global and will have an impact on people around the globe. And it is fascinating to see that we have the potential as media professionals around the globe to produce something like this together. I would say for no one team around the globe, no one media center, it would be doable only with lots and lots of effort and of financial resources to put something like that together.
And just let me add and tell you that we just put 10 stories, but we could find 20 or 30. We didn't have the resources and the time to do it, but you can see that that's possible, and probably we can have more stories.
Thank you very much, Adrian. So we moved, that was the first module of the project, the series, the documentary. And that's why as I was looking at the chat, so it's not going to be only one film, but there would be 5 episodes of half an hour each about this 10 stories. So each episode, 2 stories. We move now to Raphael and Jefferson and the team from South American division. They amazed all of us with their willingness and the effort that they put in participating, being part of this network project with a very special contribution, which is a movie. And we will see the trailer now. And Raphael, if you would share afterwards with us about your experience and some highlights of producing this movie in Brazil.
Minha mente e meu coração estão em batalha constante.
Do que você tá fugindo?
Parece que alguma coisa se quebrou aqui dentro. Eu forço o sorriso. Eu forço o contato. Tudo que eu vou fazer, eu repasso 1000 vezes na minha mente. Seus medos são infantis. Se você olhar do ângulo certo, o medo pode ser um aliado.
Eu encontrei uma coisa. Você promete que não conta pra ninguém?
Faz muito tempo que ninguém aparece por aqui.
É sufocante. Chega! Eu tô tão cansada. Às vezes parece que eu vou morrer. É tanta incerteza.
Raphael, I thank you again for the contribution from the South American division. So the trailer looks very promising and exciting. Maybe one sentence for all of us. What is the movie about? What is it? What is the topic, the main topic of it?
Okay, hello everyone. My special greetings to my friend Victor, Corrado, Klaus, Norel, and Adrian for their initiative and tireless work. We are trying to investing in productions in dramaturgy to better communication with new generations. For example, we have here the Feliz 7 Play or Happy 7 Play, a platform of videos. And I am especially very happy to be able to participate in this meeting in a special way because we are together as South America division in a large and bold project like Uncertains. Klaus, the synopsis of the film is Alice lives a moment of uncertainty without knowing how to deal with the pressure and expectations that surround her future. Depressed and with constant anxiety attacks, she decided to spend time in her parents' old hut. In the process, she discovers that there is a refugee capable of making her life better. This is the main idea of this movie.
What can you share with us one or two highlights of this in producing this movie? Of course, it's many stories could be told, but one or two things that stay with you in the production of this movie.
Yes, Jefferson is our producer. I don't know if Jefferson is here. Jefinho. Let me introduce you, Jefferson, our director.
Hey, hi.
Hi, Jefferson. We
Olá.
hear you, but we don't see you.
Yes. Jeff tem que ligar sua câmera.
Here you are. Hi, Jefferson.
Tudo bem? Rafael, traduz para mim aí.
Yeah. I will try to translate Jefferson.
So Jefferson, one or two highlights from producing in the production of the movie.
Algumas ideias, Jefferson, da produção desse filme.
Ele perguntou a ideia, né, da produção,
Yes.
Isso?
Uhum.
Nós tivemos na Jordânia conversando com o Adria, e o Adria ele nos falou do projeto Incertezas.
Yeah, Adrian presented the project when we were in Jordan for the World GAiN conference.
E a gente conversando, né, com o Adria e a Luciana, que é a roteirista.
And Adrian and Luciana were talking about the project.
Nós falamos com o Adria que existia uma possibilidade, sim, de a gente fazer uma história e um enredo que viesse atender bem o projeto Incertezas.
Jefferson has had an idea that this idea will be able to attend the project.
E nós conversamos também com a divisão sul-americana, com o pastor Rafael, Apresentamos todo o projeto e a divisão
was presented for South America division for me.
E então nós entramos num acordo de realmente produzir essa película, né, esse filme para o projeto.
And we decided to integrate this project to produce this movie for Uncertain worldwide.
Para mim, para a gente, para nós na Seven e pessoalmente para mim, foi um grande prazer poder participar desse grande projeto mundial.
For him was a big pleasure to participate of this project.
Eu agradeço a oportunidade e agradeço a divisão sul-americana por mais essa oportunidade de a gente poder ajudar a contribuir com a pregação do Evangelho.
Thank you for this opportunity to contribute with the gospel, the preaching of the gospel in the world.
Thank you very much, Jefferson, and please greetings to the whole team that participated in producing the movie. Also, Raphael, thank you very much for joining this project. Also, greetings to our colleagues in the South American division. We move now to the third module of the Uncertainty Network Initiative, and this is the documentary from the North American division. So I'd ask Adrian to play the trailer, please.
So I've been in college for 5 years, and so I'm really excited for graduation day. I really like change. I think it can be a little hard at first to accept it.
And I had figured out how to be a student. I had figured out how to do school and work and how to balance that. But now I am abandoning that for the time being, and that's really scary.
So even though I go to a Christian school, like my personal spiritual life has been a journey. I know that my passion is to become an actor, but I don't know if that's exactly what God wants me to do.
It's you that have to choose whether or not you're gonna act or react.
So, Australia's on fire. China is the origin of one of the worst pandemics in history. The US is basically shut down and will be shut down for the next couple of weeks. Seniors like myself will not have a graduation. I have no idea what I'm going to do over the summer. The town that I've been quarantined in for the past couple of weeks has been run through by a tornado. I've never been more uncertain in my entire life about my job opportunities, my future career, my family. 2020 is proving to be one of the craziest and most ridiculous journeys of my life.
Julio and Rachel and Dan Weber, you are here, as I understand, you participate in this get-together. The documentary started off as following 4 students through their graduation and the months after graduation, this step into the uncertainty of adult life, but things changed, as also visible in the trailer. Julio, and also Rachel, how was it for you to start off with a documentary that was interrupted or disrupted by life?
Well, I think, like you said before, uncertainty certainly was probably that topic. Rachel and I were talking right before this meeting started, And I'll let her talk about the change that's there, but I think we're going to need to make another change. We're being hit with another wave of yet a different virus, a virus that attacks all of us, and we're the hot spot here. It was also the topic of our Dear Coronavirus video this week. But life is constantly changing, evolving, and the uncertainty changes forms. But it's a privilege for us as part of the North American division with the sunscreen community and these students, I think, to participate in that conversation about uncertainty, a conversation for which we do not have answers, and nor should we pretend to have answers, but we need to certainly talk about it and work together through these issues. So Rachel, share a little bit more about the actual production and what we've been through so far.
Yes, so the original idea was, what's an uncertainty topic that we could take on here in the US to kind of add to this whole collaborative project? And as we shared at our meeting before we started filming, when I came on the project, Adrian and Julio had already talked about this a little bit, and the idea was we were going to look at graduation. Because for those of you who may not be familiar, here in the US, graduation is a big, Julio and I were thinking about what the word is, but I think maybe it's rite of passage. It's a coming of age moment. So when you're finished with school, you're transitioning into adulthood. And so a lot of people take that time to not only celebrate finishing their education, but also to say, okay, now what am I going to do next in my life? And so we thought, okay, this is a good time to come around these students and say, this is a huge time of uncertainty for you. You're kind of finishing this time of being a child or a young adult who's learning, and you're looking forward at how am I going to plug into society. And our idea was through 2019, we were going to follow this group of 4 students, and we were just going to wrap it up about the time that we're gathering here now. And we had 3 students who we filmed at graduation back in May and June of 2019. And we had 1 student who we were going to film kind of in 2020, but we figured it would be about the same, and we would just put it all together and it would all make a similar film. And then, as you guys all know, the world changed quite a bit. And one of the things that happened, because we're all staying home and trying to prevent the spread of this virus, is people don't have their school right now. They're having school at home. They're not going to graduate. And it's taken away not only this symbol that maybe was a bigger deal to people than they thought now that they don't have it, but it's also taken away what it symbolizes. The job market, all of those things that they're going to be transitioning into are going away as well. And so the 1 student who we were going to graduate in 2020, you saw him at the end there, that's Josh. And all of a sudden his story went in a very different direction from the other 3. And we got together with Nathan, our editor, who works with students a lot. He's at Southern. He's actually in that same town that got run through by a tornado. And Nathan said, you know, I'm a little concerned if we just make this film the way we were going to do it before and we release it, it's going to be incredibly tone deaf because we're celebrating and talking about this thing that has been taken away from all these people. We can't just put this film out there and be like, oh yeah, we're going to talk about graduation, which none of you got to do, and also which you don't have what it symbolizes either. So what we decided to do is use Josh as the bridge, because he's in the first part of the film, and then he's also going to be kind of talking about the transition into, and then we're going to find a few more people who also missed their graduation this year, a few more 2020 subjects, and make a second arc in the film that says, hey, what happens when you're going along, you're headed toward this milestone, and all of a sudden the world falls out from underneath you. It seems like if you're making a film called Uncertainty, that's something we're going to need to do. And as Julio mentioned, part of that arc of the world falling out is going to have to do with the tremendous amount of racial tensions, racial violence that we've had. We're going to find subjects who have had that impact in their life, because you can't have this stuff happening all around you and pretend that it's not. It's part of the story, right, Julio?
Yeah, and I think that that's what we want to do, and that's the purpose of this project and why we're glad to be part of the Uncertainty, the North American division part of the Uncertainty project, is because all our lives are similar. Nothing is certain. In the United States, we have an expression that's used, nothing is certain in life except death and taxes. And so we are constantly dealing with that evolving change. And now is a time to have a conversation. As we speak, I'm getting different texts from friends what's happening here in Washington, D.C., downtown, with the military perhaps getting involved, a lot of rumors going around, people are very scared, a lot of this is coming from the very leadership of our country, and that's no secret. And so we are definitely living in uncertain times right now. And so we want to reflect that. Now is the time to reach out to our communities around us as Seventh Adventist Christians, to listen, to have conversations, and to share hope and wholeness. It is not a time to promote our own programs right now, to promote our version of theology, but is a time to hold people's hands through this together. And that's what we hope that our film can do, and as part of this Uncertainty Project. And again, it's a pleasure to collaborate with so many friends and so many of you. And thank you so much for letting us be part of this family.
Thank you
yes,
very
thank
much.
You.
Thank you very much, Rachel, Julio, also Dan Weber, who is with us, but also the team there, the students and everybody that participated. We are looking forward to see the final documentary. So and move Claude, to the next.
Just want to add really quick what you just said, that this was all produced by students, so student filmmakers.
Yes. So we're moving to the next module. This is the social media campaign. And there are many clips that have been produced around that topic of uncertainty. We're just now showing one, and then I would invite Abel to just share with us a few words about the campaign and how it came together.
Well, there you go. Klaus, Corrado, Victor, Adrián, Norel. We are so glad to be part of this campaign. You know, as I was taking breakfast this morning, I saw this mat in my kitchen, in my table, together with my wife, that at the beginning, if you see, it looks like a little messy design, little thing. So I thought, how similar is this mat to this whole campaign? Because it looks like an uncertain thing, but when you see the whole thing, it looks beautiful. It's a nice design, right? But it's like a network. So it was a little difficult to think on doing a lot of video spots in different parts of the world, where some of them have less resources than others. But that's why we define at the beginning some guidelines. We define a concept, a style, and a music that was produced in some of those spots in the world, right? In Spain. So thank you, Gabriel, Dennis, and Samuel, because you guys produced, composed, mixed all the music. So that was great. And in one of the other spots in the world was the producer. So I'm in US, the musicians are in Spain. Jorge André Diaz is in Mexico, based in Montemorelos University. So he's the one who was in charge of producing all the little spots. And at the end, we have 6 countries participating. 3 countries from the Inter-American Division, Mexico, Colombia, and Venezuela, and 3 others from other parts of the world. I mean, Italy, France, and Ghana. So those are stories that can be anywhere in the world. Those stories you may identify wherever you are. You may identify with those stories, because even though they are not real, they are inspired in real issues, in real cases. So thank you for inviting us to coordinate this. And thank you to all 6 participants. Now we have 21 TV spots that can be used anywhere in the world, and the people will be identified to see the whole picture of this world.
Thank you, Abel. It is, we can see that you are a visual man with thank you very much for the illustration. I think this will stick with us, and for all the effort that you and the team, Jorge and Liz and all the others for making that possible. And I need to correct myself, this was not one clip, but this was the collection or a summary of all clips that we have just seen a few moments ago. We move now to the next, and you see it's how much the project, the network project, grew to the next module. This is the Encounters short film that we will see now.
So, Jessica, what can I do for you?
Actually, that's what I wanted to ask you. What can a chaplain do?
Welcome back. We missed you, man. Listen, Bob, they found you a new associate chaplain.
Already?
Well, you've been gone almost 6 months, and if the search committee hadn't taken that long...
What's his name?
Laura Robilia.
I'm gonna die. At least that's what the doctors told me.
How exactly would you like me to help you?
Join me on this journey, please.
Don't you believe that God could heal that person?
I believe God can do anything. But I know He doesn't always do it.
But how can you be so sure?
I'm not.
Call me when you've made up your mind.
What would you do if a student came to your office and told you he was terminally ill?
Is that a test?
No. I'm asking advice from my associate chaplain. Jessica, answer is
Thank you very much. So Sven, you and Adrian, you were those that representing two of the larger team of people that are behind this uncertainty, the encounters film. What is the story? What is the essence of the story?
Yeah, well, I guess to many of you, the images you just saw look familiar. And maybe you're thinking, what are they trying to sell us this again? I already saw this. You are not mistaken. It is a recycling project. Sustainability is a big value for us at Hope Media Europe. So we reuse our footage. No, I'm just joking. Klaus was switching back and forth when he presented this between encounters and uncertainty, because it was originally a test footage for the Encounters project, which will come next year. It's a collaboration by the Inter-European Division and 5 unions in the Inter-European Division, Romania, Bulgaria, Austria, Switzerland, and the Franco-Belgian Union. And also the South American Division and the North American Division are also collaborating with us in the Encounters project. But when we were thinking about uncertainty now, the network project, Adrian and I, we remembered these images and we looked at the story and we said, wow, this really ties in well with the uncertainty theme and the topics addressed. And so we went back and we re-edited it, and now it can be used within the broad package of the uncertainty project. The story you already saw a little bit. It's about 20 to 25 minutes. The story of 2 chaplains at a university that are struggling with their own uncertainties, with their own fears, with their own questions in life. And at the same time, they are faced with students who approach them and they expect them to have answers. They expect them to get help from them. The students expect to get help from the chaplains, which can be challenging when you're uncertain yourself. So this is also something that you can use. It's free for you, and we hope it will be a blessing in many places.
Thank you very much, Sven. And we move now to the last module, which is the writing area. The network project is a cross-media project, and for this writing part, I invite Norel to just share with us the latest news on the book and on the writing aspect and everything that has to do with it. Microphone, please, Norel.
Thank you, Klaus. And I think that after all these amazing video productions well created their lasting impression on people worldwide, it would be very good for us to be able to offer them a book on the topic. And we are getting ready to do exactly that. We prepared the book Uncertainty, which is, as you know, the second project of this type we work for. You remember that last year in Jordan, we have launched the book Fathers, and I hope that Alina is already showing you, helping you to remind the book Fathers. That was the first book we produced in the network, 15 chapters. And I recall this number because it would be good to compare it with the number of the chapters of the present book. 15 chapters back then and contributors from 8 different countries. Just days ago, Pacific Press, we got the news that Pacific Press eventually managed to publish the book and is over there to be sold and distributed, probably first in North American territory, but also worldwide. We were very happy to see that. After Jordan, we started to work for the next book, but as you know, during the last 3 months, we confronted the coronavirus and we needed to stop working for uncertainty and focus on the pandemic. We actually prepared and published in Romanian in a very tight time frame a book which is gathering together the most important or pressing questions of the people relating to COVID-19 pandemic. The generic title of the book was Time of Distancing. We brought together 31 articles signed by 20 authors from different countries, half of them being members of the academia. And the book was published in Romanian in a matter of weeks. It was prepared in 2 weeks and printed. And 7,500 copies. But now let's get back to the GAiN book project of this year, which is Uncertainty. We plan to launch this book in this autumn. It is our most complex project so far. I hope you do like the cover. Over 40 international authors. That was like a dream in the beginning, but it's becoming more realistic with the passing of the time. From 11 divisions out of 13 of the Global Adventist Church. And I will name just a few of the countries I'm certain about their participation. The final list would probably be more comprehensive. UK, Norway, Holland, Hungary, Serbia, Italy, Germany, Romania, Czech Republic, Malawi, Philippines, Brazil, Australia, Singapore, US. I can tell you that I'm looking forward to see the final list of the countries. I have some question marks right now on some countries. This is why I cannot tell you about them, but I think they will. I hope they will finally make it on the list. Uncertainty is aimed to be a comprehensive book with 3 sections. First one will try to offer specific answers to specific, very common and very problematic uncertainties. The second section will highlight the general principles that one can use in effectively dealing with any kind of uncertainty, especially the ones that are not covered in the first section of the book. And the third section is a special one. I really love it. It moves the focus from us as victims of uncertainty to us as supporters or helpers of those struggling with uncertainties. And I think many readers will discover that helping others help actually themselves in their own struggles with uncertainty. We can hardly wait to present this new book to you and to see it reaching its target public, which is the secular people out there. Thank you for the opportunity to presenting to you. And thank you for all of those who are participating in this meeting and also contributing to this book.
Thank you, Norel. We have now just very briefly browsed through the different modules of the Uncertainty Network Initiative, the documentary series, the movie, the documentary from the North American division with the students, following the students, the social media campaign, the encounter short film, and now the writing part. Of course, the question is, where will all of this be available and when will we be able to have all of this material? So I'm sharing now the Uncertainty Project website. So we're putting together a website that, are you able to see it? Is the screen shared? Yes. So this is the uncertaintyproject.org website. So here you will find over the coming weeks all the material once it will be released or it will be published. I'm just very briefly browsing through the website, and thank you, Nestor. You're also here with us for putting the website together. It's basically containing the different modules, the documentary series. Now there's only the trailers available, the movie, the short film, the social media clips, and the documentary, and finally also the book. These will be published in the following sequence. So as you see now on the screen, May 2020, today is May 30. That's when we have that get together as GAiN Europe. And now in the following weeks, step by step, we will release the different modules or the different parts of the project. Coming weekend, there will be the global premiere of the movie from the South American division, Uncertainty the movie. The week after, the first episode of the documentary series, the first of the 5 episodes will be released. The week after, so June 19, 20, the first global spots will be released. The week after, June 26 to 27, episode 2 of the documentary. The week after, again, some additional spots. So we will follow through July. Every week, every other week, an episode from the 5 episodes of the documentary, and every other week, additional clips from the social media clips campaign. And we will follow through August. August 7 and 8 will be the last episode of the series, episode number 5. Again, week after, some additional clips. August 21, 22 will be the short film and Uncertainty based on the Encounters episode. Again, the week after, some social media clips, as also in September, the first week of September, and September 18, 19, by then the documentary about the graduation, plus what we just heard from Rachel and Julio will be published in 18 and 19. 25, 26 will be again the last clips, and then at the first weekend of October, the book will be released. So throughout the months of June, July, August, and September, every weekend there will be material be released and published, and you will find this material on the uncertaintyproject.org website. For all of you who want to translate the material and to use it in your territory, of course, this material will be made available for you already now, but for the public, we will follow this release schedule as just presented to you. Of course, anytime something can change, we know that, but if things stay as we experience or we know of today, we will follow that schedule. But for you as publishers, if you want to use this material in your country, Corrado and Victor will send you links to the Adventist Cloud where you can have access to the material and you can start translating it in your respective local country so that you can make use of it. This will be given or made available to everybody in the church globally, so that they can use it for social media, for television, or whatever they want to do with it. So far, we are now done with the presentation of the GAiN Media Network, Cross Media Network project. Thanks again to everybody, all of you that contributed and made it possible. For us, it's a dream come true, and it's a real blessing, and also a humbling experience to see that God is leading us in moving together as a network, as colleagues, as friends, as a group that share in the same vision. So Corrado, I pass on to you for the Project Slam session.
Thank you, Klaus. It was exciting, this session. I really wait all the stuff or the material that will be on our computer in the next month. No, now we have a Project Slam that you know very well what is the time that you can share your product, your babies. So I don't want to spend too much time for the presentations, because I asked all the presenters to only use 2 minutes, but not Adventist minutes, okay? The real minutes. So we will have 5 presentations now, and I say only the name and the title, and when I finish or I present this name and title, please go ahead. So the first one will be Tor Tiersen, that he will present a very interesting, wonderful image of Jordan-Egypt series. Tor, is your time.
Thank you very much, Corrado. I will be sharing my screen just a little bit for you so you can see. Many of you know that after GAiN Jordan, we went with Victor Halbert and 3 members of the Hope Channel Norway team to film in Jordan, which is really the forgotten biblical country in many ways. Here is Macaerus. We told the story of John the Baptist being beheaded there. It's not moving. It is not moving. Let's have to stop this. Let me do something else. Okay, you can.
We see now Klaus, that is not a Jordan.
Mm-hmm. I've lost you. I'm sorry. This is the river Jabbok. We told the story of how Jacob was coming back to meet his brother, and Victor was doing there relating the story. We did this in Norwegian and in English so that it should be available for you. This is the Wadi Mujab, the river Arnon that the
need to share the screen again, Tor.
Ah, sorry. It stopped. I'm not getting back to. I'm not getting back to the to my to my Zoom. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe somebody else will step in and I can see if I can come back.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tor. So you will be back later. Now I ask Daniel Kluska from Poland. Worship with lyrics. Thank you, Daniel. It's your time. Your microphone.
Hello to everybody. Actually, there's not so much to say. If we can play the clip, it will say it all. It's just like a little bit of a project for worship leaders in Poland. My son is here with me here. So it's just a project directed to all the worship leaders in small churches in Poland, and we find it very inspired. So so I think maybe in some of the countries you can think about creating something like this for your own use, for your small churches, and maybe for other denominations as well. So let's play the clip.
Yeah.
One of the most interesting internet mission initiatives in Poland recently is a channel dedicated to worship leaders across the country called Worship with Lyrics. On the website, established and managed by Adventist Youth, you can find video recordings of Christian songs with subtitles displayed. It is perfect for smaller Christian communities where there are no people who have the ability to play an instrument and could assist the congregation in leading the worship. This way, worshipping is made easier for them. In the beginning, I was quite skeptical about this idea. Maybe because I play an instrument myself and at the youth meetings I lead the worship, says Daniel Morozowski, project coordinator. However, as the project was being progressed, I saw that more and more people start to use it. This is the best motivation to keep on working, admits Daniel. Only 2 people are responsible for the entire project. Marek Micek, Youth Director at the Polish Union Conference, and Daniel. Marek raises funds, and Daniel is responsible for the rest of work, collecting songs, preparing the graphics and text, and adding a ready-made video to the channel on the website. When advertising the website, Google Ads is also used, and thanks to that, the channel is becoming more recognizable each week, with some of the songs viewed 10,000 times already. Worship with Lyrics channel is the second channel of this type in Polish on YouTube. Since the beginning of the channel in September last year, it has grown to over 2,000 subscriptions. Up to date, the channel has been displayed over 5,600,000 times, and every song added stirs a lot of interest from the YouTube audience. Perhaps it is worth encouraging youth in your country to lead a similar initiative. It is worth a try.
Przez cierpienia, drogą bólu, łez i dwóch, wytrwać chcę przy Twoim boku, boś Ty Zbawca mój Bóg.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for this presentation. And now is the time of Alexander Kurenchuk from Ukraine. Alexander, unmute your micro and present your project.
Hi, friends. Greetings from Ukraine, from Digital Vision and Digital Ministry. Our team is focused on creating high-end digital products for the mission and effectiveness of the church. And despite the pandemic, everything is fine with us. We managed to save the team, thanks for God. Continued the project and started several new ones. The Lord helped us a lot, inspire us, and support us. We continue to develop our online learning, because we as a team focused on developing focusing on methodology, training tools like online educational tools, and marketing and process automatization. And we also support our partners from the other regions by fulfilling orders for web and mobile development. And we also realizing the missionary app in this month, and we're working on translation and boarding system for the church, connected to also connected to the development tools for online gospel programs, which moving now. And also in this month we are releasing a better version of new mobile Bible study application in Ukraine. And to make you see our progress a little bit better, I can show you a short video about our training platform. Maybe you will be to knows about this before, but we have a great progress in that. And I want to show you, I guess the Zoom will help me. I want to show you my screen. Okay, this one. Could you see that? Could you see? Yes, I could start. We have created a special tool for online courses, and it's easy to manage, add new courses, create special learning portals for your audience, create interactive courses with chatbots, with media content, with what you really want. It's so flexible Also could add tests for your customers. We could control statistics, all the process leading through the funnels. Your disciples could see the progress also. Some emotion tests and so on. And our dream to provide for whole church high-end instruments to create online courses. Because now it's time for online education. And God help us to create really tiny tools, which also using our government in Ukraine starting using this, and also even in Stanford University, people who involved in online education, when they see these tools, was amazing, because it's something unusual for even for public market, and we're happy to provide for church high-end tool for online education now. Yes, and only one word after that. If you will interested in something like this for your region, and also if about app for Bible study, we'll be happy to have a separate meeting. Maybe I will share my email in this chat and this video, and we could discuss. You could ask questions, and we'll be happy to answer for all of that.
Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you very much for your presentation. Now is Alina Cartuman from Romania. Please, Alina, unmute your micro and it's your time.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for all the inspiring presentations so far. Well, it's my pleasure to let you know that Romanian Signs of the Times website had its 10 years anniversary this year. It was officially launched in February 2010, and it has been an exciting journey ever since. But what I wish to share with you this evening is the most recent part of that exciting journey, is the COVID-19 trimester, if I may call it so. In the last 3 months, more than 50 authors have joined in the effort of writing in excess of 100 articles, starting March 11. And the great majority of our published pieces cover this acutely interesting topic. And I say acutely interesting because many of these pieces were read in the thousands. A few dozens of them had tens of thousands of views, some even hundreds of thousands views. Our most popular article during this campaign was viewed 350,000 times. But for more statistics, I shall pass it on to Norel.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Alina. I would like to add just 1 or 2 more things. You can definitely see the results. Alina will share the screen, and you will see some statistics. The results of the COVID-19 campaign on Signs of the Times in Romania. It is truly amazing for us. In March, we had about 450,000 users on our website, and almost the same in April, like 435 or something. Now, as we slowly leave behind the COVID-19 topic, we get about half of the readers in May, but that is still very clearly above the total number of users we had on our website in the months before the pandemic. So as you can see on the screen, in total, we are looking now at 1 million users, over 1 million users in the first 5 months of this year, a number for which obviously we are very grateful to the Lord. We can see in this, and this is why we chose to share it with you, we can see in this a proof that whenever we manage as Adventist missionary institutions to answer in real time to the most pressing questions of the people, that makes us relevant to them. And exactly that was our reason to share this with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again, Alina and Noren. Now, Tor, are you ready to present your project? Unmute your micro.
There, and I will share my screen.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, here we go. We went to the river Jabbok where Jacob was, and we are filming in 2 languages, in English and in Norwegian, with Victor Halbert, and we will make this available to you as soon as things are ready. This is the Wadi Majib, where the Israelites went as they came out of Egypt, and we also went to Egypt, and we have completed a 1-hour documentary on the Codex Sinaiticus, one of the main New Testament manuscripts. The Norwegian version is already being aired. The English version will be ready in a couple of weeks, and you will be able to get that. We had a wonderful meeting with the librarian at the monastery, and Victor, he is expert in standing up and telling about Elijah in the Elijah Basin, and we even made it to the top, not to see the sun rise, but to see the sun set. And I hope all of you will be able to get these clips when they are ready. You can understand that we had no chance to cooperate in the Uncertainty project with the filming because we were totally overwhelmed with the footage that we came back with from Jordan and Egypt. We're looking forward to sharing this with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tor. We would like really to see this material very soon. And now we have the last project. That last project is come from Klaus. And this is a very nice, interesting one, like yours. And the title is EUD Masterpiece Blog. Klaus, it's your time.
Thank you, Corrado. Actually, it doesn't come from me. I'm just the one that delivers the project. It's an initiative from the Inter-European Division, intended to help young people, young adults, to study the Bible, to inspire them to study the Bible. It's a pretty fresh initiative that started. Let us just see the clip that will introduce to us this initiative.
Have you ever seen or heard or read something really, really beautiful? You know, something that really amazed you because it was just so perfect? And the reason it was so perfect is because it had been done with extraordinary skill and precision. In other words, have you ever come across a masterpiece? Hey, my name is Chris, and I want to talk to you about this book right here, the Bible. I don't know how you feel about the Bible, but I love this book because this is an amazing book, super beautiful and fascinating, an absolute masterpiece full of incredible and deeply relevant things for you and me to discover. I mean, if we knew how amazing this book really was, it would just leave us in awe. Okay, maybe at this point you're thinking, seriously? The Bible? Fascinating? A masterpiece? Hey, I get it. We don't usually put the Bible in that category, right? Important? Well, sure, at least for believers. But fascinating? Exciting? Not really. But the good news is, it doesn't have to stay that way. How do I know? Because it happened to me. And you know what? I believe it can happen to you as well. The Bible can become fascinating to you. You can discover the incredible beauty and depth this book has to offer. You can find really amazing things in this book. On this channel, I want to share with you why I'm excited about the Bible. And I want to show you how you can study this book in a deeper way, how you can see more, how you can get a glimpse of the masterpiece, how you can make exciting discoveries for yourself, how the Bible can become fascinating for you as well. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, grab your Bible, and let's go.
So the hit that subscribe button was like a keyword. It is a YouTube channel that we talk about that was initiated. I'm sharing now the screen with Chris Vogel as the one who is leading people into this masterpiece, the Bible as a masterpiece and the treasures and everything that is to be found there. So if you wish to use this material in your language, you can have it, you can translate it, and you can use it on your channels, on your distribution channels. I'm just putting out in the chat the blog or the URL, the address, the YouTube address to the channel. And if you want to make use of this material, you can contact either me or Sven, and we wait a minute, I just put it only to one participant. Now here I'm sharing it in the chat with all participants. You can contact either me or Sven Faulkner, and we can put you in contact with Chris Vogel, the one who is leading out in this channel. So that's it, Corrado.
Yes, you can continue now with the last point of this beautiful webinar. Continue, Klaus.
Okay, so getting back to the GAiN Europe, but it's more than GAiN Europe, we now tend to call it not GAiN Europe, but to the cross-media network project, because it's people and media centers and colleagues from around the globe participate in this network project. If it would be a normal GAiN Europe meeting, and as it was planned for the meeting in Bucharest, we would have several sessions actually for which we put aside or assigned for brainstorming and for deciding upon the next network project. Those of you that have participated know that every year we decided together for the topic and also for the format, what type of project we want to do together. Well, because of the overall global situation that we find ourselves in, and of this very reduced GAiN Europe of a 2 hours program, obviously we are not able to enter into an elaborate decision process in what to do. So that's the first aspect. Second aspect is that in preparing this GAiN get together as a coordination team, we discussed for several hours, how to approach or how to continue with the network project. And our impression is that it would be meaningful, or it is meaningful to continue until next year's GAiN Europe, which we hope and pray that we experience together in Bucharest. That until then we continue with the topic of uncertainty, because it is a relevant topic. It is a state or a situation that all of us around the globe find ourselves in. And as Norel just mentioned a few minutes ago, if we manage to have relevant responses to crises or to themes that are relevant in society, then we will have impact and we can be a voice. So therefore, our suggestion is that we continue with the uncertainty topic, which means, now in more concrete terms, that we will add additional stories to the documentaries, to the global documentaries. So far, we have 10 stories. We could, and these 10 stories will be put together in 5 episodes, in a documentary of 5 episodes. So a goal could be, or would be, to add additional 10 stories from around the globe, 10 interesting people with interesting stories that we film and put together, so that by the end of this, or by the next year's GAiN in somewhere March or April, that we will have then 10 episodes, a series of 10 episodes. So that could be something where we very concretely can continue with the uncertainty project, network project. Another possibility would be to continue with what we experienced with the very short clips, the Dear coronavirus clips. Now, not with the same topic, but with the same format. So with the method, with the way these clips have been produced as international, multicultural, collective voices from around the globe in sharing one message. So to continue with these clips, maybe not in every week, because that's a pace that is pretty tough to handle, but to say, what if we have one clip per month that we produce again collectively. So far, 4 divisions take turns in producing the clips. 1 week the Trans-European division and the Inter-European division. The next week the North American division. The week after the Inter-American division, and then we begin again with Trans-European, Inter-European, North American, Inter-American division. So, but we would be happy to include also other divisions, South American division, South Pacific division, some African division from Asia, so that we, let's say, have a team of 6 divisions or so that we take turns in producing these clips. Of course, this as it is now in the process right now, Adrian is consulting this process in order to keep it together so that it doesn't run in different directions. But we could do that as a second aspect of continuing the uncertainty network project, to have one clip once a month. However, if we find that that things change globally and in our societies, and that pressing issues appear or occur, then we could produce even more. Say, well, one clip every 2 weeks, or if it's very dense and something that hits us as the Corona pandemic event hit us, then we can even go again to a pace of one every week, to produce something every week, because it's relevant and it's needed, and we can increase our impact. So that could be a second way of continuing with the Uncertainty project. But there might be also other ways of doing it. So if you have any ideas, another film, another documentary, something else, please let us know in what we could do together. Then we can follow that path. So you can write the comments right there in the chat. We have still some minutes, but not many minutes. We don't want to keep those of you that are late also too long here in the chat or in this get together. But to us, this seemed to be the most reasonable way to move forward under the current circumstances, to keep the uncertainty topic, to continue to produce as a network the clips, to increase the stories. So if you have if you want to be part of that documentary, the global documentary, please contact Adrian. So Adrian, if you could write your email on the chat, please do so. If you want to contribute or know authors that could contribute also to the book, or to produce an article, an irrelevant article to relevant topics, so please contact Norel Jacob. So Norel, if you could also write your email in the chat if people don't know your email yet. Or you can contact Corrado and Victor and myself in letting us know how we can contribute and how we can work together in this network initiative.
Thank you very much, Klaus. Victor,
okay,
we are
so
running at work.
Yeah. One of our embarrassments of this get-together is that we have done a lot of talking and you haven't done very much talking. We've encouraged you to go to the chat on the side, because when we've had 80+ people here, if you all talk, it would make the Tower of Babel seem like a very pleasant place. So we wish, we hope, we pray that physically we can actually meet back together again next year. But unfortunately, we can't promise. We can't promise because we don't know what's going to happen in the world over the next month. Equally, we don't know what's going to happen in the church. And, you know, we could hopefully go back to Romania, or go to Romania rather, next April. We would love to do that. But if the tithe in your union has dropped by 30% or more, hopefully less, can you afford to come? And we have to bear all of those things in mind. So we're not making any decisions or any promises at the moment. And that's partly why we're saying, do you see the wisdom in continuing doing what we're doing at the moment? So continuing with the uncertainty project. And if you've been inspired this evening, I've been having some private messages coming in while the talking's been going on. And some of you are saying, yes, I would like to, I have a story, I'd love to do something. And some of those are coming from other parts of the world. So that's fantastic. If you or your division want to get involved with the follow-on to what we've currently called Dear Coronavirus, but the title will be changing, we would also encourage you to get in contact and carry on. It became easier for us when the Inter-American Division and the North American Division became partners with us. It meant that Adrian actually got some sleep a couple of nights a week because producing those projects was very, very intense. And if you don't manage to get your idea in the chat on the right-hand side now, then yes, feel free to email us. Yeah, I wish we could make a promise on a physical Dear Coronavirus for next year, but we can't. Our next event, I just want to mention that very briefly because it's June on Monday. And every year we have done a World Refugee Day project. And the EUD, TED and ADRA Europe have always worked on that together. And it's usually been something where we have bits coming from all sorts of places around Europe and the world. And we were planning something this year and it crashed because of the coronavirus. I was planning to go to Bosnia and film. You cannot get into a refugee camp in Bosnia at the moment, even though ADRA has been working there. And of course, I couldn't even get a flight to Bosnia if I tried. But actually, Corrado, do you want to mention it? We have got the most amazing sermon for you that you can share, and the materials are ready for you to translate into your own language.
Yes, it's Mariuka Ostoljanovic that presented this sermon. Was amazing to see just the introduction, the trailer of this sermon, and because we were the producer, we saw also all the message, and I would like to say that it's really inspiring. We had some problem with this coronavirus because we were not able to go in a refugee camp. This was a little bit a challenge, but let's say that Mariuka was really able to skip this this challenge and to involve us to a very interesting invitation to reflect what means refugees in a spiritual way. So we invite you to really to promote this day, 20th of June, 2020. And you will receive, oh, you already received the, so no, you say, many of our communication director and media centers received already the movie, the video clips just for the translation, voice over, dubbing, or maybe more easily the subtitles. And yes, this will be another day that we can remember the refugees.
Okay, so you've got that. You've already had the letter, I think, that gives you details where you can download from. If you haven't got it, then write to Corrado or to me and we'll give it to you. I'm noticing on the chat at the moment, several people are saying, can we meet more often? And I can see some smiles there and possibly some yawns. We suffer from something called death by Zoom. But we also recognize it's good to get together, and maybe if we have another get together, then we can talk less and you can talk more. It was nice to see the project Zoom, and I would love to hear more of what you're doing. If you think that's a good idea, we will, I guess, write and get a feeling from you, and then we will see what we can organize. Corrado feels lost if he and I don't talk on Zoom at least every couple of days. Otherwise, you know, we don't sleep at night. You know, what's happening? And we always like it when Klaus is on with us because he's usually eating pizza.
Yes, and he's invited us to eat pizza with him.
Okay, I think we have covered everything that was on our agenda.
We have another promotion.
Sorry?
We have another promotion coming from Spain, you remember?
Okay. Do you want to do that?
Yes, it's done. Now.
Okay.
Entra en tu plataforma de contenidos adventistas. Accede de manera fácil y disfruta de la sección infantil, con canciones y vídeos educativos para los más pequeños. Encuentra música variada, con grupos de adoración de todo el mundo. Aprende con documentales sobre naturaleza e historia desde una perspectiva cristiana. Descubre series, películas, testimonios, estudios bíblicos y programas de salud, familia y estilo de vida. Cada semana, nuevos contenidos seleccionados para ti, desde donde quieras y cuando quieras, en tu móvil, ordenador o tablet. Descárgate la aplicación o entra en hubmedia.es, tu televisión a la carta para toda la familia. Más cerca, más misión, más esperanza.
Isn't it amazing what is happening around the world? What you are doing in so many different places. I feel blessed by having come on here this evening. I was kind of saying to my wife before this meeting started, you know, I could really do with a Saturday night off because we're in these meetings all week long, but I actually feel energized by having spent this time with you. We are at the end of our time. Some have had to leave because some of them of you were preaching in other places and, you know, different time zones. But thank you for joining us. We feel so inspired by you and your ideas. Corrado, can you finish with a prayer for us?
I will. And of course, you will listen to the prayer in my special English, Lian. I hope that you can understand. We pray. Our Father who art in heaven, and who has been with us during this program, we would like to thank you for your presence. We felt your presence here during this time. It is a guarantee for the work that we are doing. Without you, we cannot go as we are going. Thank you, Father, for turning our work into a mission. And with this GAiN, we want to confirm our common mission. Every one of us share this really desire to accomplish a mission. Help us to make our goal our home. Father, we continue our work and we want to do it with the desire to strengthen an international network so that your church will be recognized as united and consistent with your principle. Bless us, Father, for this. We ask nothing more of you than your continued presence among us. We love you, Father, in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Corrado, can I suggest to have all the participants on the screen for the final of this meeting to be able to see all of them?
Sasha, are you able to do this?
Zoom cannot do more than 49. That's not possible. We're at the moment 69. So no, sorry, that's not possible to do.
But I have taken a screenshot of the 49 on screen 1 and the lesser number on screen 2. Some on screen 2 were too humble to have their picture on it. But those of you that have your picture, we have got a record that you were here to the end. So you are the faithful, the true, the remnant. And it was so nice to see you all from so many countries. And now you're laughing. Just keep on laughing. And I will take another screenshot right now. And let me just go to screen 2. If anybody wants to switch their camera on, Arbel or Martin or anybody else, you've got 3 seconds to do it in. Because I'm going to take a screenshot of, oh, Griselda from Iceland. Nice to see you as well. Okay, all looking happy. And I've got screen 2 as well. Okay. you're now all invited to Klaus's house for pizza.
Yeah, thank you very much, Klaus. So now it's time to close.
Please come, please come. There's enough for everybody.
You can say us now. Can say us now because we cannot come. Okay, thank you. Bye bye to everybody. See you next time. See you. Bye bye.
It's been a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. Bye bye. Bye bye. Don't forget to save the chat now before to close the webinar. Otherwise, you lose your chat. Bye bye.